this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. Let me turn on my X-Needle helmet. I always forget to do that. Alright, I'm good. So I'm out riding the deer step through 20 again. Here's why I'm doing it. I can see my display screen. I've got sunglasses on, polarized sunglasses on. I can see it 100%. How did that happen? You guys know I've been complaining that I can't see the screen at all. I see it 100% perfectly now. So how did that happen? Well, special thanks to subscriber Andy Cosgrove. He told me that he had the same similar situation with his bike. His wife's bike and his bike, one of them was able to see it, the other one he couldn't with the sunglasses on. So here's what he told me to do. He said, take some clear packing tape, okay, and put it on the screen. So I did, and yes, I can see it. I see it perfectly clearly now. How do you like that? Thanks, Andy. I really appreciate it. It makes a huge difference. I mean, it looks, I can see everything. I can see all the colors and everything. It's really great. So why does it work? Now, here's the thing that I noticed when he told me to do it. I put the tape vertically, couldn't see a thing. I put the tape sideways, couldn't see a thing. Then I put it diagonally. So I don't know if you can see, but there's like tape lines across this way. I went diagonally with it, okay? And when I went a diagonal with it, I can see it. So obviously, somehow the clear packing tape has some type of polarization of its own. All right, it's got something that if you angle it a certain way, you can see it with your polarized sunglasses. And if you take the glasses off, you can still see through it too. All right, so I was kind of messing with my glasses to see. So that is a solution for you. Now, the only drawback I can see with this is that as the sun beats down on this and it heats up the tape, it might get a little sticky. That is a problem. I would not scrape it off, obviously, because if you scrape it off, you're just going to scratch the display screen. I would take additional tape and then do like a sticky sponge. You know what I'm talking about? Where you just kind of use the tape and just kind of keep sticking at it until all the sticky stuff comes off. Now, I went ahead and I told Magicycle about this trick. Haven't heard back from them yet. But it would solve the problem. Now, I'm thinking, what if they came up with some type of... all right, let's take a left out of here. All right. Sometimes you try to hit the brakes and then try to put a left turn hand out. It's kind of hard. All right. So what if they came out with some type of sticky solution, their own version of sticky tape, but set up so that, you know, if you put it down vertically like this, you would still be able to see it. I mean, they may have to get tape and then cut it a certain way, and then it's a pain, but man, it totally solves the problem. I mean, it looks awful. I didn't do it a real good job, but you know, the edges look a little goofy, and there might be some air bubbles in between. You can see the strip of the tape and everything. But at this point, I'm willing to do that, to be able to just see what I've got. I mean, I can see everything, yeah, 100%, 820 AM, my wattage, trip meter shows about 1.3 miles, PAS 4, yeah, I can see it all. Yeah, speedometer showing me 16.8, I could see it all. So thanks so much, Andy. I really appreciate it. It makes a huge difference to me, and I know that others will appreciate your comment about that too. So thank you. We got the best subscribers, right? Yeah, it's a little community of its own, right? Anyways, as I was pulling out of my house today, and some guy was driving past my home, he had to stop and say, "What kind of bike is that?" It grabs a lot of attention, I know that. The color itself grabs the attention. And then it's the look of the bike too, of course, besides the color. Yeah, a lot of times people have never seen an electric bike before. They may not be familiar with it. Alright, so anyways, this ride happens the day after I did the range test. Now, some of you may not know what the range is that I got. And I put it up as a graphic, but if you only listen to it, I kind of thought about this after I released the video. If you just listen to it, I never really mention what it is because it's just put up on the screen. So yeah, I got 30.1 miles out of this bike battery, doing mostly throttling and a little bit of pedaling, but mostly throttling. And I tried to be conservative in my throttling. I stayed within, I'd say 15 to 18 miles per hour, as much as I could. I needed to find out for myself what the battery range was because I plan to take this bike on the Bike to Drive event that happens on Labor Day weekend. So it's a 30-mile ride. I got 30 miles out of the battery. I'm going to carry 2 batteries. I have no fear. Yeah, I can do it. I think somewhere halfway in between, if they have they'll have a stopping point because you go down one direction, then you turn around and go down the other direction. I think somewhere halfway around the 15-mile marker, I'll probably just swap the battery out, and I should be fine because if each battery gives me around 30 miles and I just need 30 miles, I should be okay. So yeah, I definitely have to bring that second battery, otherwise I would be risking going right up to the edge of the 30 miles and then running out of battery. Don't want to do that. Now this is if I pedaled barely. I plan to do a little bit of pedaling at least, and so I should be getting more than 30 miles out of that battery. Dogs are always trying to get me. And here's another thing too. I complained about the fact that the extension wasn't that great on the seat post here. I changed out the saddle. Yeah, I put on my typical Bikeroo saddles, and that gave me another inch or 2. So now I have decent leg extension on the bike. So my suggestion would be to this: if you can't afford to get another seat post, because some of these seat posts, because this is a wider diameter than some of the other bikes, they don't sell a whole lot of this in this diameter apparently. If you can't find it, or you don't want to spend the $35 or whatever they charge for the seat post, because there's cheaper seat posts, but at this diameter they don't have a whole lot and they charge a lot for it. So if you don't want to do that, buy another saddle. Yeah, the Bikeroo is not the greatest saddle anymore. It used to be nice and cushy. It's not that cushy anymore. It's just kind of hard, at least the one that I got. The last time I bought these Bikeroo saddles, I bought like 5 of them. These are not the ones supposedly designed for outdoor bike use. It's for indoor bikes, in other words, exercise bikes. But they're the same saddle. The only difference is that the outdoor ones have springs in the back, and the indoor ones have elastomers, which is really just rubber. I prefer that. I don't really like the springs because the springs always tend to have issues sometimes on these saddles. And so, not this specific saddle, but I'm just saying saddles in general. Where am I going? Oh, I got to turn here. And so I bought these at a fairly decent price. I think they were like $23 range, something like that. No longer, because it's higher in price now. I find that Amazon will have different prices on these products every now and then. So when it was cheaper, I bought 5 of them. Now it's higher. I'm not sure whether I want to buy more or not. So anyway, using this particular saddle, which is a little bit stiffer, but it's still wide, I got another inch or 2. I don't know how much it is, but my extension right now is pretty decent. It's pretty much where I need it to be. So now I'm happy. Now I can see my screen. Now I have decent leg extension. Yeah, I could ride this bike for the Bike to Drive event. No problem. Now, I recently got an a comment from somebody asking me about the Ocelot Pro versus the Cruiser Pro. He's 5'10", he has about a 30-inch inseam. He says, which bike should I go with? Well, here's the thing, he's almost exactly like me. I'm 5'10" with a 30.5 inseam. The Cruiser works for you because it's kind of a mid-step. In other words, it's not really a step through. And it's not really a step over because it's a little bit cutaway there. The Cruiser Pro would work fine for you, but if that was a true step through, if that was a true step over design, you might have some problems. This is why I kept saying that they need to start looking at maybe 24-inch bikes, 24-inch wheel bikes, 24-inch wheel bike frames, because we're kind of in the middle of that. Now, of course, not everybody has a problem with a 26-inch wheel bike. Some people do, though. They're kind of in the point where 20-inch bike seems too small for them, but then the 26-inch bike seems too big for them. So what do? I mean, you're kind of stuck. This is a 20-inch bike. This is the Deere step-through 20-inch. No problem. I can fit it as long as I have that larger seat post or something that extends me higher, like the saddle is bringing me up a couple inches higher. I'm thinking it's a couple inches. It's either 1 or 2 inches higher. So you're kind of like right in the middle of it all. So you don't really know what to do. In general, just so that you know, for about 20-inch bikes versus 26, from my experience. Okay, I'm not saying that this is what everyone experiences, but this is what I see. The 20-inch wheel bikes are more nimble. I can maneuver this a lot easier. If I was in a tight situation where I have to kind of move quickly, you know, like going from section to section like this, I can do that easier with a 20-inch bike than I can with a 26. Okay. But admittedly, the 20-inch wheel bike looks kind of small on me because I'm a little bit bigger and taller, and it just looks a little small. And so the 26 is my preference, but I would really prefer a 24, I think. I do have one bike that's the 24-inch, and that is the new Engwe X24. It's a step-over bike, but I'm telling you that bike fits perfectly for me. It doesn't hit me in places I don't want to be hit. I can step over it. I can, well, it's a step over, but I can straddle it and not hit anything. I feel good about that. If they could make other bikes like that, I would be happy. And the fact that it's a 24-inch wheel, it's a bigger wheel for me. I prefer it over the 20 in general, even though the 20 may give me more nimbleness. Is that a word? I still kind of like the larger wheel. So that's my basic comments on the 20 versus 26-inch thing. If you're tall enough, a 26 is no problem. You should do that. I would say if you're over 5'10", get a 26. I think you'd be happier. If you're under 5'10", at least, if you're under that, you might want to look at the 20-inch wheel versions. If they make a 24 somewhere, that might fit you even better. If you're 5'6" and under, I think you better go with the 20-inch version. 26 would be too big. These are big bikes, the 26-inch bikes. They are. I mean, a lot of people don't think they are until it's the very first time they've seen an e-bike. They go, this thing is huge. I'm not kidding. They are huge. When I first got my first Rad Rover 5, I thought that thing was the biggest bike I've ever seen in my life. That thing is so big. Now I have even bigger bikes than that. So yeah, you really got a dilemma if you're around 5'10". You're not really sure what to do. Should I turn here? Yeah, let's turn here. I'm just riding for the sake of riding, by the way, folks. I only decided to take the bike out today because I wanted to see if I could see the display screen. It's kind of an overcast day. I don't really need sunglasses, but I put them on anyways because I want to make sure if I can see it. I could see that display perfectly. It's perfectly bright, and I can see the colors too. I don't usually see the colors on these color displays because the sunglasses usually wipes everything out for every color display I've ever had. This thing is like in perfect colors right now. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, it is kind of stupid that we have to do it this way, but it's a solution. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Keeps you from scratching your screen unless you try to peel off any sticky stuff. But yeah, I could have done a better job, I think. But yeah, too much effort, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I can see it well. I'm happy with it. Magicycle, come up with something, okay? Come up with a sticky thing that somebody can put on. You know, leave it as an accessory, but include it, okay? Because a lot of us wear sunglasses. We can't see the display. Yeah. So here's my suggestion. Do what Andy said. You know, if you have one of these bikes or you have any of the other Magicycle bikes and you can't see the display screen very well, try a diagonal application of the clear packing tape. Okay? Just be aware that it's going to get sticky once the sun goes on it. You may have to deal with it down the road, but at least you can read it. Yeah. Man, I could read everything. Man, I'm so happy. Little things make me happy, but this is a major thing. I mean, if you can't see what you're doing, what's the point of a display screen if you can't see what you're doing? All right, here's another thing too about this bike that I do tell you the goods and the bads of the bike, right? So far, those things were the bads, but they're able to be fixed. Is the point? Okay, let's turn here. They're able to be fixed. Here's another thing. This BMX style handlebar doesn't have a whole lot of room for a handlebar extender. Yeah, one of my subscribers also mentioned that he bought a handlebar extender. He couldn't put it on there because it's a little too thick. Plus, you got all this wiring in the way. Okay, I don't think you can put a handlebar extender on this bike unless you find something that works. Which means you can't put a whole lot of stuff on it. So this is why I have like this cell phone mount. It's sticking way up out of here because I put it on like on the side of this thing here. Can't go too far down, it's too thick. So I put it over here. I'm using the Magicycle BP09. I have links in the description of my videos of the accessories and also on the RUSSISRIGHT.blogspot.com site. That's again inside the description of the videos. So you can find the link there for the BP09. The BP09 was the most recent version of the Magicycle that I reviewed. The Magicycle gave me 3 different versions. I think there was a BP07, some other number I can't remember, and then this BP09. I like the BP09. It's a half mount. Doesn't cover the top and the bottom, but it's easier to get the phone in there. And it's got a little flip thing here to lock it in place. Where am I headed? What's up ahead? Doesn't look good. Looks like a lot of cars. Let me see where we're going first here. What is that? Oh, Thomas Street. Okay. All right, let's take this turn. I see everyone sees me, so thank you to everybody. And so anyway, I'm using that one because it has a bigger clamp. So I could clamp onto this handlebar pretty easily. So yeah, the BMX style handlebar has some limitations. You can't put the handlebar extender, it sticks down too low, you got cables in the way. Might be kind of hard to put a handlebar extender. If anybody finds one that works with their Deer 20, step through 20, let us know, okay? Now, as far as the battery is concerned, let's get back to this whole thing with the battery. I mean, I did do the range test on the other video, but I want to talk a little bit more about that. When the bike is under load, meaning you're riding the bike, okay? This meter, the percentage meter or voltage meter, whatever version you have, I mean, you can set it up in the display screen to choose voltage or percentage. I just left it on the percentage. It will drop more when you're under load, and then when you put the bike to rest, meaning if you stop running the bike for like 3 or 4 minutes, that meter will go up. So I had dropped it down to 6%, and then when I let it rest for like 3 minutes or so, the meter went up. Yeah, it went up to 15%, I believe. Now, I didn't get a chance to take a look at the voltage when it was under load. I'm assuming the voltage would have been lower as well. But when I looked at it at the 15%, we were down to 47.7 volts. Now, keep in mind that a 52 volt battery is not 52 volts. I think it's something more like 56 or 58, something like that. It's just a nominal setting of 52. They just give it a name. They call it 52, but it really goes higher than that. Same thing for 48 volt batteries. A 48 volt battery is not 48. It's higher than that. I don't remember what it was. Was it 54 or something? I don't know. 52? I have no idea. But it's higher, okay? So you just got to remember that the meter reads differently when it's resting versus when it's working. So I ran it down to 6%, and the little red light, you see like a little battery thing there. The little red light started turning on, and it was red instead of white. I figured I was done at that point. I mean, you could have pushed it till it totally stopped, but what's the point of doing that? I rode it to 30.1 miles, mostly going about the speed. Right now it says 19.4. I cruise controlled most of it. I went to Bussy Woods and came back. Yeah, it was a 30-mile ride, and I made it. So if you go to Bussy from where I started at, from when I started looking at it, and you ride around Bussy, head back, it was about a 30-mile ride. So when people ask me what's your typical ride, I don't know. I always say, I don't know, between 20 and 30 miles. Keep in mind that I usually will be throttling most of that because I'm on camera, and I told you guys I don't really pedal when I'm on camera, otherwise you'd hear me huffing and puffing. Yeah, I'm pedaling now, all right, but I have it at pedal assist level 4. I changed all my pedal assist levels too, so my level 4 may not necessarily be your level 4, okay? I have 9 levels now instead of 7. I prefer the 9 because it gives me more options of in-between levels. So I usually make it 9 if I have an option. If I don't, I usually make it 7. Some people like the 5, which is less. I mean, when you jump from one to the next, it's a greater. I like some in-between settings, right? So that's why I go with the 9. I also like having the thumb throttle option here. Yeah. You know, like I said, it's 3D printed. I get it done at my local library, and they don't charge me for it. They just charge me for the plastic. It's about 50 cents. And then you got to pay for, a screw and a nut. So if I remember, I'll put a link to the thumb throttle information. If not, you could always Google it. You could always not Google it. You go to YouTube and then click on the search function within YouTube, and then type in like RUSSISRIGHT thumb throttle or something like that. I think you'll find it. This is not the road I usually take. All right, maybe it is. I don't recognize anything half the time. So anyway, short but sweet today. I just wanted to kind of go and test this thing out to see, would the saddle be better? Would the tape be better? Yeah, I'm happy now, man. Everything is good now. I don't like the little bubbles, and I mean, it could be fixed if you do it right. You could do it right, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. All right. Should we drag this video out or not? I always think about that. I think sometimes my videos are too long, but I'm going to be riding for a while. So, okay, here's what I'm going to tell you guys to do. I know not everybody watches the videos to the end. All right, it's okay. Watch what you can. Watch as long as you want, right? But here's what I'm going to tell you to do if you do watch it to the end. Here's what you're missing a lot of times if you don't watch to the end. We talk about random things. I mean, whatever comes into my brain, that's what we talk about. And sometimes there's good information in there, and it may not happen until you get towards the end. Yeah. So whenever you look at the title of my videos, that's not the only thing I talk about. All right. I might be talking about other stuff too, but you got to give the video a title, otherwise people don't know what the general topic of the video will be. So I'll give a title based on, I don't know, maybe the most important thing I'm talking about, but there's other things I talk about that could be important to you. Now my wife says you ramble. Yeah, I do. I mean, if your video is 45 minutes to an hour long, I mean, you're not going to talk, everything will be of major importance, but yeah, I do ramble a little bit, quite a bit. But like I said, my videos they're never really scripted. I kind of have an idea of what I want to discuss, but they're not scripted. I don't read anything. I just talk to you guys like you're a buddy riding with me. That's what keeps me going on these videos. If I didn't have you guys to talk to, I think I'd be kind of bored riding my bike. Yeah, and I know a number of you guys actually stream the video while you're riding your bike. Not so much that you're watching me, but you're listening to me, right? I appreciate that. It's almost like a podcast then, right? It's a podcast with video. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's kind of like a podcast with some video. And if you want to watch it, you watch it. If you want to listen, you listen. You want to turn it off, you turn it off. If you want to keep hanging out with me, you hang out with me. I had a gentleman up in Wisconsin who I ran into, and he asked me about the Magicycle bike. And when I gave him my business card, he goes, "Yeah, I know who you are." Yeah, he recognized the RUSSISRIGHT name. A lot of times people they wouldn't know me if they saw me, because my face isn't always on the videos. Most often it's not. I'm just riding. Sometimes I put my face on the video, but most often not. So you could be passing me, you'd never even know it's me. Others will recognize me when I'm riding strictly because big guy. He's got a safety vest on. It'll either be yellow or like this new orange one that I have. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. Well, it's orange. Yeah, so you might recognize me that way, but otherwise you wouldn't recognize me. So anyway, he did recognize the RUSSISRIGHT name once he got the business card. So we were talking about the stuff. It's starting to drizzle on me. Okay, we're heading home. We're going to cut this thing short. It's starting to drizzle. We're going to speed this thing up and get out of here. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. It really helps me out a lot. I appreciate it. Use the affiliate links to buy all the stuff that you want to buy. Buy a bike, buy an accessory, whatever. Links are inside the description of the video. I'll talk to you guys next time.